Why, hello there, Twitch chat. Welcome to SpeedGaming 2. I am Coy, joined with Willard J. Bradley. Hi, Willard.
Hi.
And we are doing the Week 3 Invitational League race here between Triple Dino Disaster, represented by Yoshi, and PugTrio, represented by Andy. The mode is Casual Boots. And this should be a really great race. These are some fantastic runners.
I agree. These are some top-tier competitors that have been around for a very long time racing this game, and generally always doing pretty dang well. So, especially when you give them a mode where you get boots and a sword right away, and you can just start, being a gamer right off the bat. This is a important matchup too between these two teams. Right now, Triple Down Disaster is undefeated, 4-0. PugTrio sitting at a cool 3-2. That's incorrect. 2-3. Let me double check. 2-2. Yeah, that makes more sense. So
Talk about the 6 next to PugTrio means.
Yeah, I know. That's great. Good for you. So PugTrio needs to get a win here to increase their chances of making the playoffs. The top 4 spot you want to get in the divisions. And as somebody who's also in this division, I also want a team to have fun and be unbiased. Yeah.
So what would be the better situation for your team?
It's a good question. Because you kind of want everyone to be around the same page. You want everyone to beat each other up. Just so, it's going to be, closer for everyone, I guess? I don't know. If my team was 4-0 right now, maybe I'd definitely want PugTrio to win. But right now, I just want to have a good, clean fight. I want everyone to have fun, especially you, Coy. You gotta have fun, buddy.
I always have fun.
Okay, good. Got a pendant at Eastern. We got some bombs off the uncle.
It's the one thing we had to talk about was the price packs. All right.
Now we don't. We don't even have to think about them. And I think with the small magic, there is a single bomb, I think, drop in that price pack.
It's a single bomb on I think it's the 5th drop, but it's pretty deep in there, and it's just one bomb. I don't think our runners are going to be farming enemies for that.
Nah, no way. We also got a bottle. That'll allow us to check. If it was like
a fairy pack, maybe you would go for it. Just to top.
You see a heart drop, then you're like, okay, I need to see one more prize pack drop to see if I'm in the good one.
I mean, just because it's boot starts, getting bombs in the escape isn't as critical. Because we can always just bonk it open. But it is nice to have bombs going into Kakariko.
Now, if it
oh, well, there you go.
There's some more. Now, if it was pseudo boots, then we'd be having a different discussion. But nobody knows what that is, and it doesn't exist, so it doesn't matter. With that bottle in hand, do you think these runners are both gonna follow the same route straight to Kakariko, or are we gonna see some divergence? You never know.
I do often
silly place.
I do often see players go, to other locations, specifically South Shore, looking for bottle and flute.
And
I think finding the bottle reduces the value in doing that quite a bit.
Yeah, because if you're wanting to try and route in Zora early, then you're hoping to find a couple 300s over in Kakariko. But usually, especially in casual boots, runners are going to go ahead and do those fake flipper water walk sequence breaks anyway. Yeah, with the Pendant Eastern, I could very well see these runners. Oh gosh, hello, more bombs. Making an Easter plane earlier. Just because, it's not a dungeon that needs to necessarily be beaten. And you just gotta hope that the 3 items that are in there are in the front.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to, not worry so much about having the bubble before going into Pendant Eastern. It's still undesirable, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pendant isn't the same thing as not having progression. So I'm sure we'll see both Kakariko and the larger part of South Shore before any play like that.
Yeah, Eastern, at least for me, is always one of those things like you either do it in the light world before you go to the dark world, or it's like one of the last things you do. Unless obviously you get like a bow and you can go beat it and it's a crystal, but it's
I
just
think
really
the
it's one of
problem-
those ones to easily isolate. I think.
Yeah, the problem with Eastern is Sahasrar's Hut. Because Sahasrar's Hut being right next to it adds so much value to going over there. And you don't mind going to Sahasrar's Hut, it's 3 items, it's very fast, but you do mind going into Eastern. And it's sometimes it's difficult to separate them. I know
It's
in like
kinda-
open boots, I like to start by going to Sahasrar's Hut and then orphaning Eastern entirely. But
Yeah,
that's
I
not
mean,
as
we've
easy in this
we've
one.
seen runners do that where they like if they get rupees early, they'll go buy bombs from Hylia shop and go straight to Saha's Hut. It's kind of what makes that area interesting. It's like if Sahasrar's Hut didn't exist, I mean, I guess no, it's not really the same as like if Agnes Cave didn't exist over by Desert. Would that check be as good if you had Desert access? All right, grabbing the key rat. Good to see 3 items up ahead. We've already seen both the map and, of course, the small key. Otherwise, we wouldn't be back here.
Oh, that
The
was
game would be broken.
that was a neat lineup for the key dash for Andy. Usually I see people line up the key dash on the top wall, like Yoshi did, but Andy did it off of the torch.
Nice. Well, okay.
Well,
Flippers.
flippers are kind of gross when you only have 1 rupee in your hand.
Flippers. Now, the cool thing is you can still set up a water walk with flippers. It's just like, as you're leaving Ice Rock Cave, you can just dash straight down. You'll fall into the water diagonally, which doesn't, like, trigger the water walk. So then you can swim down and then drop off of the waterfall. Koi, they have 2 rupees, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andy did.
Yoshi's gonna have 3 rupees, okay?
Thankfully, with the boot start, Houlihan is not locked to us. If our runners did need to, they can set that up.
Oh, and a Pyramid Fairy Crystal over at Desert Palace. So there you go. That's our light world. 52 rupees. Yeah, looks like we are going to see a
No lumberjack check.
pretty similar route. Me? Yeah. Yeah.
From either runner, no lumberjack. All right.
Well,
Usually you see that paired with boot checks. So
mhm.
but I mean, there's other opportunities to check it.
Yeah.
And
Like
it's
if
not even
you
pertinent
find a
to
glove,
drag. Yeah,
you can
on the
check
way
it
up.
before heading up Death Mountain or something.
No, you want those rupee. Okay.
Andy!
You probably wanted those rupees.
Probably wanted to get that. It's okay. It's not like we have a 100 rupee purchase item location coming up in Kakariko. Thankfully, there's what 60 rupees plus 20 coming up. Tier under the pots. Is that right?
No.
30, 20.
Yeah, 30 and 20.
That was close. Today is not a day for math. Oh. Gross. Moon Pearl. Ugh.
Yeah,
Okay.
honestly, I think the rupee skip was just like speedrunner brain. Like, you only had so much time to think about it, you realize, hey, that's not a progression item, so you move on. Probably in hindsight, it was like, I probably should have picked that up.
Alright, well now we just need a lamp and a hookshot, and we can beat Aga and hookshot across the broken bridge.
Oh,
well,
there you go.
Still.
Yeah, you want more than that.
Well, yeah, we'll need one more of those, please. Alright, what else we got here? Shield. Heart piece. Tempered sword. Okay.
Well, if you didn't think it was an Agassi before, here's a third sword.
Game is easy now. Well, alright. Oh, no, we can check the back of escape. Perfect. So at this point, we just need another glove or a hammer. We have Dark World access just like that. Now Zora's super in logic as well.
Yeah, we have lots of checks left to find this.
We still have a couple more in the Kakariko area, and then we still have the dam, and then it's this mini Moldorm Cave, and then it's like Ice Rock Cave or Agnes Cave. There's a bow. We can go to Pendant Eastern, out of logic. It just gets better. It's a very nice Kakariko. Holy cow. Now, if you're one of these runners, you're really wishing that Eastern was a crystal, just to solidify that play.
Yeah, now that I have a bow, I want to go to Eastern even less than before. No, you want the rupees, Andy? There he goes. Okay, there we go.
So now the 100 skip ain't too bad. He's got enough money for Zora and Pot at this point. Yeah. When we get there. If we get there. We may never get there.
Oh, there's, like, definitely something in Pod.
So it depends on if it's a pendant or not.
Which direction, though? Is it... If it's a pendant, it does? Or if it's a pendant, it doesn't?
Yes. If it's
okay.
a pendant...
Right, now I understand.
It'd be funny, though, if it was a pendant, because then you'd have pendant Eastern and pendant Pod. But you have the bow, so it's like... That'd be gosh, that would be an awful situation, honestly. Because, you know, generally, you want to obviously skip pendant dungeons and hope that they're just not required. And it does happen. There are definitely seeds, plenty of seeds, where none of the pendant dungeons have anything. Well, there's our Dark World access. There's a hammer right there.
That'll do it.
10-minute Dark World access. And now that begs the question of what do I do now? How much more Light World do I want to clear before I head into the Dark World? This feels like
definitely some options available.
Pretty standard
I think
Light World.
We're probably going to see our runners, finish South Shore all the way to Ice Arcade, do the flipper checks before going anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Now,
but then, we do have the mirror. Yeah, you could go Catfish over to the flipper area.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, plenty of money now. Don't even have to think about that 100. And a heart refill is also good. Yeah, we also did see Bombos in the dam, which is a potentially nice side. You never know. Now we're just mitts away from, getting into Ice Palace, which is gross.
And it's probably not a pendant.
Linear seed so far, both runners making the exact same plays. Nobody's going to miss out on that big 20. And gonna set up the water walk and knock out all them watery checks.
It's nice when the high percent plays are dishing out progression. You don't have to think as hard.
Nope.
Aw, nobody did the water walk.
Aw.
Or the swim into water walk, I mean, that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Earlier. I timed it out. It's not like a huge time save or anything. It's like pretty marginal, but it looks cool.
And I mean, swimming is slow compared to running, so I can see that. Oh, Divergence!
Oh, no.
The first one. $20.
Probably thinking about how he could just mirror over to it later.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And he's probably gonna go ahead and do the hype cave up Pyramid Catfish. Just route that all in. Oh gosh, the scary thing is we can already do a hookless swamp dive. Perfect.
Magic.
Let's see where them prizes are, Andy. Come on. Sure you want to know.
I didn't see the ledge.
I didn't either.
Anybody make that out?
Come on.
More money!
More money! I'm assuming it's nothing. So, since we got so many good items in the light world, clearly the rest of, the rest of the checks for a while are going to be scarce and terrible until you dip into Pendant, whatever.
Swamp.
Find your required thingy. Yeah, let's see how these runners play out now.
Right,
and yeah,
Yoshi's gonna map check.
Uh,
There it is. Pendant Pod, you had your wish.
all right. Green Pendant at T-Rock, Pyramid Fairy Crystal at Swamp. There are our dungeons for today. Not a hover seat. Required Swamp. Now, that doesn't mean we can't utilize hover later if you're up on, like, Death Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, usually people think of it as the Moldorm 2 skip, but there are other situations where hovering can save in a huge amount of time.
Generally, I see Required Swamp, and I'm like, whew!
Yeah,
Don't have to worry about that.
Swamping a crystal definitely reduces the chance of hovering having immense value.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what Catfish is. This is a very isolated check for Yoshi, so if this is something big for Andy, this could be a pretty big swing early in the race. What do we have? It's a heart piece. I feel like the Dark World Overworld is going to be just completely empty. Maybe we'll find like another medallion, or
I'm sure we'll just find the lamp,
the flute, or something.
Everything's in pod. It's a little easier to ignore the Sphere 1 bow because it's progressive bows, but Sphere 1 bow pod just makes sense.
It's right there. Just go do Pendant Pod and Pendant Eastern all in one go, because you can mirror. Just do it in the dark, no big deal.
You can even mirror over to Sahasrar's hut. What's not to love?
I couldn't imagine making a play like that this early. Just going straight for
it is a little
Pod
early.
Eastern. Oh, wow, there's the mitts. Okay, so that'll allow us to do Smith Chain right now. If we wanted to, we can go into Ice Palace, which is a crystal, but also gross.
Yeah, pretty gross, definitely.
Now, the downside about those mitts being there and Andy's routing is that there is a chance he might not get it right away if he finds a fire rod that sends him up to Skullwoods or something. But he should get that after the Thieves Town play. It's kind of nice to get the mitts there, because then he could just go right up into Village of Outcasts. Do Smith changes.
The problem is the purple chest.
Yeah, that's going to stay there for a bit. Unless we find a flute or something real quick. That'd be the most convenient.
Yeah, if we find something good enough, maybe he'll just skip Skullwoods and pick up the purple chest on his way out.
Mm-hmm. First look at Village of Outcasts. We got a mirror shield already. Wonderful.
You could even bring the purple chest with you to Skullwoods, but that's slow.
Alright, so with these pendants in hand, right now, with Pendant T-Rock, it's nice because you don't have to worry about finding an ice rod somewhere. Of course, we still need quite a bit of items. A lot of items.
All the things.
All the items except for ice rod and maybe a medallion or two. That's pretty much it. That's what we're avoiding here.
We're only 17 minutes in. So it's a little early to be expecting more.
All right.
Dark World Access just came so quickly. We're spoiled.
Yeah. You never know what kind of seed you're going to get. This could be one of those where it's just like, hey, everything just shows up all at once all of a sudden, and you get like to go mode 4 or 5 dungeons, which rarely happens. Or it's gonna be spread out amongst Eastern and Pod. I think at this point, would you be like hoping to not find the lamp anytime soon?
Well, anytime you don't have a fire source, you want the lamp. But specifically the lamp for dark rooms and stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to go up the mountain with this equipment, and I feel like the lamp definitely points that way more than Pod even.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, I can't hover, so going up the mountain is a much different story for someone who can.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if after Thieves Town, if Yoshi decides to like sequence rake up the mountain or whatnot.
I don't know if Yoshi hovers or not, but I've heard that Andy's the only one who can, so maybe not.
Interesting. I would like to hear where your source was from.
Do you know if Yoshi hovers?
Not off the top of my head, no. I would assume. Well, I'm not going to assume because I haven't watched much Yoshi play, so we'll just have to wait and see.
I know a lot more people do hover than really get talked about, but can hover in a situation where you absolutely need to, and being comfortable enough with it to route around your ability to do so is a very different story.
Yeah, it really is. Because, like, there's people that can pull it off if they're, at the top of GT and they don't have any other choice and they don't know what the heck a Molder and Bounce is.
Yeah, and then
might be able to...
routing to Hookshot Cave under the assumption that you're going to nail all these hovers successfully is... There aren't a lot of people who are confident enough in it to pull that off. Usually you'll see somebody like do 1 or 2 attempts, maybe get a chest, and if they fail it too many times, they just leave, cut their losses.
Yeah, it's like a rule of 3. All right, 3 attempts and I'm out. Well, other than those mitts, we still haven't seen anything new yet. We got a gold sword, that's great. We got a red boomerang, that's wonderful. We can check what our stun prize is. Not that these lads are hurting on ammo or anything. And yeah, the thing is, I would assume at this point either, I don't know, do you go into Skull Woods after this, or do you go...
I think for Andy, you do not go to Skull Woods, but for Yoshi, you do. Because of the way they routed from different directions. Like, if Andy goes to Skull Woods right now, he's very likely not going down to Dig Game K45 and Stumpy for quite a while.
Yeah. That's kind of the downside about routing Hype Cave up to Catfish, is that it's really easy to put off Stumpy and Dig Game for a while. I
mean, he'd get to it sooner rather than later just because we know that the mitts are going to be there. But
yeah,
you could easily talk yourself into doing a sequence break up Death Mountain or going into Pendant Pod before going over there for 3 relatively slow checks. I thought he might do Front of Skull Woods first, just to alleviate that routing problem, but he did not.
That's the other thing, though, with that mirror, there is that possibility of going up and checking Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb.
Yeah, you can always just work back down if you want to.
Gonna go ahead and go south. He'll get his mitts. And be curious to see if he decides to do Smith Chain or not.
I'd expect him to, just because he has to do K45 anyway. It just it feeds into it to go do that.
Well, yeah, and then all of a sudden now there's the possibility of Andy turning in that purple chest that we won't see on Yoshi's side for a bit. Well,
yeah,
we're gonna see Skull Woods.
Huge difference maker.
Andy getting his mitts. 2 items in Skull Woods potentially. Yoshi gonna go ahead and check the vanilla big key chest first. Yeah, I gotta assume Yoshi might head over and do Graveyard Ledge King's Tomb at this point, depending on what he finds in Skull Woods. Either that, or I could see him go mirror, check Lumberjack, and head up the mountain. Go check Bumper Ledge. If you're at that point, you might as well go ahead and go over and do Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb.
Yeah,
Or
I
at
think
least
you would do all that
Graveyard
together.
Ledge. So you don't want to isolate those spots.
Well, unless they're nothing, then you do want to isolate them.
Well, obviously.
I'm pretty sure.
Thanks, Koi. What an assessment.
That's how you win the race, is you skip the things that don't have things, and you don't skip the things that do have things.
Man, I've been playing the game wrong for years. See, I just try to route the game as efficiently as possible and just cross my fingers.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't work for me for some reason.
There's our second medallion out of Skull Woods. It'd be nice to at least get both items in the front here, and then you know that you just have to come back here with a fire rod and dunk on Moth, and you're out there.
Yeah, nice peace of mind. At least it's a crystal, though, so like even if you do have to come back, it's something you want to do anyway.
Yeah. Alright, what else we got in here? Another small key. Are we gonna get the third small key in the big chest?
Survey says.
Alright. Well, that's good. That means that the last item has to be on Moth then. Alright. Let's see what's over at Graveyard Ledge King's Tomb.
Also purple chest on Andy's screen coming up.
Yep. Yeah, Andy's doing the thing where you can ditch the chest as long as you mirror, like, near the dude. You'll get the item for it, which is a nice way to speed that up. That was a nice find way back. What do we got?
And my understanding was that people knew about it for a long time, but nobody cared. And then somebody cared, and now everybody cares. It's weird.
Now this makes sense. This is the best time to go check the desert ledge, Agonist Cave. But yeah, other than Mitts and I guess Quake now, like it's starting to look like we might have to go. Well, it's like Hookless Swamp. We can go to Ice Palace, Pendant Eastern Pod, Yoshi finding Cane of Burna here in Graveyard Ledge, which does open up Spike Cave. But
our options are so thin right now. I think even if you can't hover and it's just an Orphan 3 checks and hook check cave, you still sequence break the mountain here.
Yeah, I think so. There's just too many items up there.
But where is Andy going?
This looks like a Zora plate. Or
it's Ice
Palace plate.
Oh, okay.
Here he did Zora.
I mean, you know, crystal, full clear, blah, blah, blah. It's just no cane. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, until you find the cane in here and you're like, ho ho. That was a blue mail, I think?
Yes.
Okay. Well, nobody getting that, so ain't doing no egg. We are getting that sequence break up the mountain, so good. Good. More divergence. That's what we need to see. But so far, like the few things that these runners have done differently haven't really led to anything huge. You know, Quake, Burna for Yoshi. Let's see what Andy finds here in Ice Palace.
It definitely seems like a really early time for him to choose to go to Ice Palace.
Ooh, okay.
Oh look, logical access to the place that Yoshi's going.
Yeah, now if Yoshi just finds Samari up here, then he'll be feeling pretty good about making that ice play. And especially if he finds the fire rod too. Because Bombos Ice is a little bit slower. Just a wee bit. And for now, our runners are still gonna get to avoid the Eastern Pod play, which is always nice.
I'm not even sure what the actual time difference is, but it's so large that you can just say a lot, and that's pretty accurate.
Shovel and Spectacle Cave. I guess if there's any time to find it, it's, you know, after you've already done all that stuff in that area.
Tactical map mid-hover. Makes sense.
certainly speeds up that room a little bit. The other thing about getting that flute is we saw what's on Desert Ledge, so, you know, but you don't really want to go to Desert without a fire source. You don't really want to, obviously, go into Mire without Samaria, if we can even get in there with just Bombos. So, though the flute does open up Logical Death Mountain, that's... The other stuff it opens up is kind of eh.
It's not so bad going to Desert, just because of the way, like, it's, the boss is so separated from the rest of it.
That's true. You can at
And
least
then you
clear the
also,
front.
yeah, you get the medallion information, Mire Shed, Checkerboard Cave.
And no Haripot either, so we're seeing the slow version of both dungeons right now.
Yeah, this is the extra slow version of Ice Palace. Not only Samaria-less, but also the long walk to Ice Tea.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's 30 minutes in. It's not a spot you want to really skip, because you're never going back there. Now, if it's like, this is your last dungeon, and you're still looking for one more item, then I could see that skip happening. And just being like, well, if it's there, I lost, it's fine. But just a compass. Either way, both runners are going to get another crystal done, which is always nice. Oh, gosh. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, this Ice Palace is terrible. Jeez. So wait, there was no small keys on the left side? Unless there's one, like, in the
I
big
don't
chest?
think so, yeah. He could have routed
No,
over to the
he
right
checked the
side
big
first,
chest.
I guess.
Big chest was a 10 arrow. That's true. He could have gone up, dropped down, and then just bomb jumped over right off the bat. Another bottle off of Moldorm.
Like, you get the first item, you get one item in the first chest, though. You know, you don't want to abandon the possibility that it's just the nicest Ice Palace ever.
Yeah.
With second and third item on the left side.
If Yoshi happens to find Samaria, like, even without Fire, that still, like, changes the routing of Ice Palace tremendously in the best way possible. That Icebreaker is pretty busted. Yeah, now we have a plentiful amount of checks coming up on Yoshi's side here on East Death Mountain. Oh man, so was the last item just on Cold Stare then?
Yeah, it
Oof.
looks that way.
Oh, that feels bad. That's a tough play to go for. Just go straight for Cold Stare.
If it was like just Ice Tea left, you know, I could understand it, but like he had the whole right side, it was way more likely the item wasn't on Cold Stare. Oh, and there's our Ice Rod for Pendant TR.
Classic vanilla Ice Rod in a cave.
Well, I mean, French vanilla. Vanilla Ice Rod's in Turtle Rock.
Right, sorry. My mistake. You know what feels kind of bad is checking Hookshot Cave before doing, like, Paradox, and then, like, finding Hookshot and Paradox Cave right away.
Actually, I route it the other way on purpose because of that. Like, I'll always do Hookshot Cave last.
Same. Well, like, usually, I would, yeah, well, well, I guess maybe because Yoshi already had, it's not like Yoshi wants to go into T-Rock anyway. So, going through the TR portal, like, I would, like, drop down, do Spiral Cave, go into the portal, and then mirror outside Paradox Cave, go in, do that, drop down, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. Nothing in Ice Palace, then?
Yeah, well, we got the flute.
Oh, yeah, flute. That's a pretty good one. That does put what Yoshi's doing in logic.
But not the cane, which is the only thing you wanted to find.
Uh-huh.
Well, the thing you wanted to find more than anything else. Whoops. Dropping things.
So yeah, what is the next big thing that needs to show up at this point? Probably a fire source. That'd be nice.
Yeah, definitely. Fire Source would get us desert at the very least.
Also, other than the ice rod, we haven't seen much of. There's the other bow. There's the fire rod. Okay.
Alright, so we
Can
get
do
desert
stuff
and
now.
skull.
Well, that's going to help a little bit with Ice Palace if Yoshi wants to go there, but not
So
tremendously.
A big no thank you to Spike Cave there from Yoshi. Are you going to ice?
Going to
Going to
ice.
ice! Oh my god.
Well, that's good for Andy. Now, I'd say.
Yeah, it's really great for Andy.
And we are going to go straight to the Meyer area.
Yoshi's clear will be like marginally faster because he uses Fire Rod 3 times instead of Bombos.
Ether, the one medallion we don't have, is the one that we need. Also, Quake was apparently the medallion for T-Rock. I missed that, so. Alright, who's ready for Ether and TR? Deep in TR. Oh, green pendant Ether. Ha ha ha. Let me just say the worst thing that could possibly happen. Ha ha ha. I guess Ether on pedestal would be the worst.
Yeah, there you go.
Ha ha ha. I'd assume Andy probably wouldn't head into desert at this point without. He might. Like you were saying, it does seem worth to go ahead and check the front because the front isn't fire rod locked or fire locked.
Yeah, and you have to do the front anyway because you need the big key. Like there's no loss here.
And who knows? Maybe Lamp will be in here or something funny. Oh my god, the big key was boots locked? Good thing he had the boots.
Where did we find the boots?
I don't know, I think we've actually found them yet.
Oh,
in
it's
the game.
I want to see. Yeah, it's casual boots, right?
Big key, small key. Now, you know, of course, in this situation, you want to just find both the items, and then you can just do desert later as you go to beat Meyer. Not worry about it. But you know there's going to be like one item on Lambolas or something.
Naturally.
Unless... Oh, there's a bomb pack. Let's see if Yoshi decides to route this differently. Not looking
Well, he
like
heads over to Freezer for first, but often you'll see players just turn around and go back.
it. If it's a small key. Oh. Item on Lambolas. To come back.
Oh, he
Would
goes on to the
assume
big chest.
this is going to be the mountain. Yep.
Okay, so at this point, Yoshi has 2 items, and the last item is either Iced Tea, 3 checks on the right side, or just the boss. But everything but the boss is super slow. Alright, he's making the play. This is going to save a lot of time. But this is definitely, it's definitely like a risky maneuver, like, because if you don't get the item on Cold Stare, you're not going back in.
No.
It's not, I'll just do the right side later. This is, I'm going to orphan this item forever if I don't win this gamble.
It's kind of like skipping the chest, the vanilla binky chest in Eastern. Yeah, that is a huge time save. And yeah, if that wasn't the item, he could have come back later after fighting Samaria and just do Icebreaker and route that in if it comes to that. But you know, if you're doing that, you're probably gonna last location whatever's there. You're probably not going to win. That's the other thing is these runners, they know each other well enough. They've seen each other play well enough. They know what they're up against. So, you know, making the occasional gamble skip here and there is pretty common. And until Yoshi's in go mode, there's always going to be... Oh, no. Never mind. They did get the third item. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm speaking as if there was an item on the right side, but there wasn't. Oh, did Andy skip the shovel?
He didn't pick it up, but I mean, he can just do it later. Like if he's coming
That's
back for a Spike Cave, it's right there.
Yeah. I think if he routes East Death Mountain, like, where you do Spiral first in the Paradox and then do the Dark stuff later, I could see that making routing in Spike Cave a little bit more efficiently than when you're sitting in Paradox Cave, like, do I really want to bomb jump, climb up, walk, run back over, go to Spike Cave? Yeah, we're going to see the second item. The thing is, now we have 2 items that are both fire locked. One in Skullwoods and one on Land Molas, so that could easily be our next piece of progression. At this point, we're looking for just a few things. We need that Canis Maria for Mire, but also the Ether to get into Mire, and then the Hookshot to beat Swamp. That's the minimum.
Also, can't ignore that the Fire Rod gives us logical access to more odd.
Oh, see a Fire Rod shot. That one went sideways.
And I'm going to pod's not even all that bad. You don't have to worry that much about spending time on the boss. You get Sahasrara on the way, and even if it's all empty, you even have like bonus Eastern right after.
I feel like if at least one of the 2 dungeons was a crystal, I could see going over there being okay. But with them both being pendants, it's like that area is
first. Definitely.
area is dead to me. Just a heart piece, but a 4th crystal. She's going to take a crystal lead for the time being. I'd assume since Andy hasn't done Skullwoods at all yet, we'll probably head that direction maybe after getting the Fire Rod, but there's still a little bit more Death Mountain.
And Andy almost definitely is going to be doing all of Hookshot Cave. Yeah. Unless he just has like a really bad day.
Alright, so if we don't find some... Well, if we don't find... We need a Hookshot, really.
Yes, that would be nice.
Because then you have all of Swamp in play instead of just the front of Swamp in play.
That's interesting. You said the Eastern area is dead to you. Does that mean you would choose to go Swamp first?
No. Hookless Swamp is terrible.
Okay, alright. So there is a line.
Unless it's like literally Pendant Pod or... I think there was a qualifier just like that recently.
Yeah, Hook was your only thing you needed.
And it was on Catfish, and I had like Pendant Pod and a couple overworld checks, and then Hookless Swamp, and of course I went for Hookless Swamp. And it was the wrong play. It did get me a sword though.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more reasonable to choose Hookless Swamp in that situation when Hook is the only thing you need.
Yeah. And I got to avoid all the pod, thankfully, but it still was not good.
Wait, what just happened on Andy's screen? I'm very confused. Oh, did he go up Super Bunny instead of Paradox?
Yeah, looks like it. Because it dropped all the way back down.
That was weird.
Andy gonna get his silvers and fire rod here in Paradox Cave. So yeah, right now, like, both runners have each checked a couple extra, like, overworld spots. I feel like, based on the routing, I think Andy's checked a few more, maybe? Mostly, like, purple chest and, well, Miyoshi did, like, Graveyard Legend stuff, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, Andy had that walk up to Catfish. Honestly, the biggest difference between them is the Ice Palace routing.
Yeah. It's the one that stands out the most, because, Yoshi's not too far away from getting their 5th crystal. And, to go back and kill Lamolas isn't going to take too long. But you really... Going back and killing just Lamolas when... and then having to leave again to come back later to get stuff from Mire feels bad. But let's see the hover in action. First try. It's a 20. Ether or Samaria? Heart piece. Easy every time. 20 bucks.
No, nothing for it though.
But hey, that's one less spot Andy has to think about coming back to. And for the most part, you know, that also means that T-Rock is probably completely dead to him for the time being. Well, especially because he doesn't even have Quake. So, but that's the thing is, if like Yoshi finds Hookshot
Yeah, he
and
might have
Samaria
an
and is looking
extra
for Ether, then that T-Rock Hookshot into T-Rock is a possibility. All right, what do we got? Hookshot from Lambos, maybe? Blue Boomerang.
Oh, that's why he wanted to do it second, because he wanted to hover to it, but didn't want to risk the fall. So here he does it last, fails to hover, and just save and quits. Alright, well, they both orphaned Spike Cave, I guess.
There's something kind of funny about failing the hover that wasn't required or wasn't necessary while nailing. It's not. It's in the past now. Anyway, we're heading to Skull. So where's our stuff? When are we going to Eastern Pod, Koi? Is Samar is Sahas Rala just gonna be chilling with like Ether, Hookshot, and Samaria?
No, Saha has the lamp, but all the things are in Pod.
I thought the lamp's gonna be in T-Rock. Yeah, we got some fun locations left. I mean, for Yoshi, we got Spike Cave, that shovel, which we might see right now, maybe. Yep. Catfish, pyramid.
This is a big difference maker check right here for Yoshi, because Andy did not get the shovel.
Mm-hmm.
And will probably not get it for a while.
Will this fetch quest be the game decider? Oh! Only 50 smackers.
Oh. Oh, here's Pod.
It's time. We tried for so long to avoid this.
Yeah, it's not a very surprising play to see him go here. Like, just from the things that are left available, this is the only one that doesn't completely suck. At least it's dense.
Until you get all dungeon items in the front. Or 5 small keys and a map. Alright, what do we got? Show me the 3 things that I just mentioned. Come on.
Oh!
Oh, okay. Hey, T-Rock. Sweet.
Yay.
Yay. That's,
Yeah,
ugh.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice. The cane is required, blah, 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 but it's not good enough to leave.
It's even worse is getting that, knowing you could have had that for Ice Palace. But, I mean, if you're Yoshi,
Yeah, I don't think
you're
Yoshi
glad
really
you didn't have
minds
it.
that
Like, you
much.
saved a ton of time. Now, will Andy go and beat Lamels before heading to the pod area, or head straight there, or, you know, do a couple extra things? Oh, no, there's still another item in Skull he has to get.
I think he has a Graveyard Ledge and Kingston as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, Hookshot and Ether, that's what we're looking for next. There's
Oh, I was off.
There's the lamp. Wow, a bow-locked pod? That's nuts. Those bows were so well hidden, too. Think this was the second item here in Skull, so this will be a quick in and out. Yeah, there's Quake. Which gets us into T-Rock, which is gross. Okay. Well, that also means that flute wasn't necessarily our intended means up Death Mountain, but it's really hard to tell at this point. They both equally get us up Death Mountain. So, boy, if you get through the rest of Pod and find nothing, I mean, do you go ahead and dip Eastern right away? Or
That's a tough call. I think with the lamp now. I think I go Turtle Rock instead. Just never do Eastern.
yeah, this is a really rough situation to be in.
I think it's a reasonable call to leave or stay.
I mean, it's 3 items in Eastern that were sphere. Like, it depends on your like methodology of routing, where it's like, okay, do I still assume that there's going to be items in like Sphere 1, or should I be focusing on like the items that are deeper in the seed, like T-Rock? But Andy gonna go ahead and kill Lambolas. And then, yeah. So right now we're just holding on to that Cane of Samaria. We're looking for an Ether Medallion to get into Mire, and we're looking for a hookshot to beat Swamp.
Both of which could just be in Swamp.
Yep. Now, do you skip Helma if it has an item?
Definitely. I would never kill Helma here, personally. See, my thinking is a Turtle Rock has so many items, and it takes so many items to do it. The idea that I both can do Turtle Rock and I still need things to finish the game makes it seem really likely that that's where the things are.
Yeah. The only downside about T-Rock is like it usually takes a little bit to finally get to the goods. It's kind of like how Pod can be sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. That's a save and quit. We're done in that Pod area.
Was there an item on Helma? Do we know? Server says yes.
Yeah.
Chat was paying attention.
This is looking like a Spike Cave play, I'd say. Or this might actually just be straight to T-Rock then. Yeah. With that mirror out, I gotta assume otherwise.
You go TR here.
Now, Andy could save some time if he just doesn't go into Pod and just immediately takes that Samaria up to T-Rock. But that'd be a pretty interesting play.
Yeah, I think it's hard to make that call though, because you're already in the Dark World on your way to Pod.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like Turtle Rock has a ton more items or anything.
Right. We don't even know if T-Rock is the right play. It feels like it's gonna be the right play.
Yeah.
But it could be a complete dud. And the answer is just like Ether and Spike Cave, Hookshot and Mire. Like that's super easy to happen.
Oh, he's leaving.
Oh wow, okay. Well, this race just got a lot closer. Now he's still a bit of a climb behind, but if this is the right answer.
And then if this isn't the right answer, if it's empty, Andy probably just goes right back to Pod.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, that's the other thing to think about is now with that lamp and Samaria, like we have the ability to beat every Pendant dungeon. Which is gross when both the items that we're looking for could be on the pedestal.
Yeah, that's fun.
Or either of the items. They both can't be on there. That'd be wacky.
I guess the ped could lead to both of them. It could lock them both.
Yeah. Yeah, it could. Spin to win?
God, he spins so fast. I try that. I can only go like half that speed.
So, let's say we find both of our items in here just immediately. That's not a good sight. Your first item is already there, and it's not... Well, there's still, what, 4 more items? This dungeon has how many items again?
5 items in Turtle Rock. +1 in Mimikay, +1 on Green Pendant, +1
Okay.
on Ped.
I mean, the other question that comes up is like, if you find one of the items, do you keep digging, or do you bail?
I've seen runners leave. Gamma. Gamma. Are you listening, Gamma? But I think most people would agree you stay as long as there's still items.
Wasn't there literally a qualifier that was this exact same situation where the Meyer medallion was in the front of T-Rock, and then the hook shot was in like Crystal Roller? And a lot of people
Oh, is
bailed.
that the one that spawned the 300 messages in Racing Talk?
Yeah.
I didn't watch that particular race, but I did hear
I didn't either. And I didn't read about it. I did not read 300 messages. But I heard through the grapevine that it was a race that happened on twitch.tv/speedgaming something. Yoshi dropping a couple things here. Having a little trouble in Pokekey as well as the Chomps. A second heart container. These are gonna get spicy. Yeah, if you do all of T-Rock and find nothing, you know, I would assume the next play is to go to Eastern for Yoshi and to go do Pod Eastern if you're Andy.
Yeah, I think Yoshi goes and full clears Eastern, killing the boss. If it's nothing, then he kills Helmosaur, and then he goes full Ped.
But I could see both runners do Spike Cave after this, if there's nothing in here.
Yeah, and Andy still needs to pick up the shovel, too.
Okay, you get through all of T-Rock, and all you find is a book. What do? Do you cry?
You kill Trinex, you go check Ped.
Not even checking Ether? Pretty risky. What if Ether's vanilla, Koi?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you finish the checks in the mountain, and then you check Ped.
Another heart contain. Wow, we're finding all the hearts. This is where they were hiding.
We have seen the entire Smith sequence already, to answer chat.
Yeah. I don't think... Did Yoshi... Yoshi never went back and did purple chest,
Yoshi
though.
has not done purple chest, but we did see it from Andy.
Yeah. Okay. Hookshot or Ether? What are we gonna find? Compass. That's neither of the things I just said. Gonna get a small key on Laser Bridge. Did we see the map yet? I think we saw the map yet. Did we? No.
I have no idea.
3 more items left in here. We've gotten, what, 2 heart containers so far?
I don't even pay attention when I'm the one playing the game.
Just autopilot.
Well, I don't use quick swap, so I have to menu to Ice Rod later anyway. So it's a free check to see if I have the map.
Free double check. Ah, gotcha. All right, what do we got? 20 bucks. Nice use of that mirror shield. Small key. 50 bucks. All right, show me map. Come on. Heart piece. So it's not in T-Rock
we're killing Trinex regardless.
Yeah. You got to get that green pendant. But holy cow, this feels real bad. And Andy having to do this in the dark, fortunately, this is one of the easiest dark rooms in the game. One of the easier ones. You just kind of hold directions.
Yeah, no RNG. Makes it very consistent.
Easier than Sewer's Key Rat. Well, that's the thing for, you know, now... Well, I guess it works out for both of them, because Yoshi can go turning green pendant and go into Eastern, and Andy can go turning green pendant and go into Pod.
Yeah, the main thing is Yoshi's already done the vast majority of pods, so if Andy has to go back there, then the time loss will be bigger again, or the time difference will be bigger again.
So maybe Andy would be more inclined to beat Helma. Assuming at this point that that pedestal might actually be required.
Yeah, I think Yoshi would go to Eastern before he went back to Helma. But if Andy goes back to Pod, he's gonna stay until he's full cleared it. But maybe Spike Cave will just have all the things, and nobody goes back anywhere.
And obviously, I think these runners are going to try and hold off on Hookless Swamp as long as possible.
Also, I guess there was an item in the basement?
Ah.
Well, there you go.
Ah. Boy, these items can just be
this,
anywhere these days.
This definitely explains why Yoshi skipped Spike Cave earlier. I didn't realize that there was an item in here. So skipping Spike Cave was just an effort to not completely orphan Hair Basement. But Andy doesn't care. Shovel, Spike Cave, Hair Basement, no thank you.
Green Pendant turn in, back into Pod, get my lamp. Okay, well, we got some big moments coming up. You know, Green Pendant, Yoshi's going to turn that in if Yoshi doesn't find anything. But more importantly, if there is something in this Hair Basement, that could be...
Hair Basement or Spike Cave.
Or Spike Cave. Could be big. Alright. Ether or Hookshot. What do we got? 10 arrows.
Womp womp.
There's
hey,
Ether.
Turtle Rock with the goods.
And if Hookshot, wow, if Hookshot just ends up in Mire, then Andy is suddenly in the lead. Yep. Well, he's already in the lead. Well, it depends. If Hookshot is in Mire, yeah.
Yeah, it's still a question. Like, if there is nothing in Mire, then Andy likely just goes back to Pod.
Yeah.
And this lead that he has is diminished.
All right, Spike Cave, what do you got for us? 3 bombs. Wow. That feels bad. All these extra checks are turning out to be nothing.
All right, so here we expect Yoshi to go turn in Green Pendant, and then if it was nothing, he would go into Eastern, but it will be something. But he could choose other things. Oh, coming in the Dark World here tells me that he fully intends to full clear. Because the only reason he has to go back to Pod is to get the Helma Sword kill. So he's expecting this to be a full clear the game for Ped situation.
Which is understandable. If Green Pendant turns out to be nothing, you don't want to have to like flute back over to 5 and.
So he'll be safe. Again. I think with the Green Pendant, he'll definitely be leaving this area. It's just it's a statement towards his mindset that he was prepared to kill Helma.
And it's a Godmire too.
Of course.
It's always a Godmire when you're looking for items. The compass. You're gonna go ahead and keep checking, yeah. I think with that in mind, that means that Vidi, I think, has to have a small key. I think, logically. If both the front, if both those are not small keys or something.
No, it could be in the big chest too.
Okay.
Yeah, if you find a big key in the bridge or the spike room, then there has to be a small key either on the other one, on the boss, or in the big chest.
Oh. Ugh, there's the map.
It's not super useful key logic. Like it's just in this one situation where like one item from go mode, am I gonna bother trying to kill the boss?
Right.
It's because right now it's a low % chance that Vidi has the item because it's pretty likely to be a key.
The only really Mire logic that I remember is the whole, if there's a small key in Compass Room, then the big key's vanilla. That's it. That's the only one I know.
That's actually, it works the other way, too. If there's a small key in the big key chest, then the Compass Room has to be the big key.
$20.
You just wouldn't do them in that order, so it doesn't matter.
Right, right.
I guess if you're out of magic, maybe, and you're gonna do it all anyway.
Okay, well, we've seen one item. I'd assume Andy would just go ahead and clear out the rest of this. Oh, and Yoshi's gonna go for it. So if this could be another turnaround play.
Yeah. The awkward thing about this play is if Vidi doesn't have a small key, and when you come back in, you have to go to the big chest first, which is super out of the way because you can't combine it with the map chest.
Small key. All right. Second item here.
Now that we know that there is a small key in the big chest.
Mushroom. So yeah, if at this point, like, if the pedestal, I mean, we're probably gonna turn that mushroom, and then we're gonna head back to Pod Eastern. So if that mushroom doesn't lead to a hookshot, then this might swing back into Yoshi's favor, just because Yoshi has pretty much all of Pod done. And who knows? Hookshot could still be in Swamp. That's still a possibility here.
I can definitely see Yoshi going to Swamp after this. Like, before he was willing to go kill Helmet and everything, right? But that was because he had full clear TR and got nothing to show for it. But
yeah,
now he does. He got Ether from doing TR. TR is justified now. He doesn't have to worry about, trying to make that play worth it. So, in this case, it's like, Swamp's not that bad.
Andy going for Spooky in the Dark. Very nice. Not that one, though.
Luckily, Vitreous did have a small key, so Yoshi won't have to route this super grossly.
Yeah, the only problem is that he has to run over, hit the switch, and then go back and check that one. He might skip at least cutscene chest, though.
Oh, he's going big chest first. Never mind, he's gonna route it grossly anyway. Even though he didn't have to, he's still gonna do it. I mean, I get this. It might be the second item and then you're done.
It's the dream. You get the item, you go. You don't have to do anything on the left side. It's perfect.
Alright, next stop, Potion Shop.
And if that's not a hook shot, then we still... Next stop, Fake Powder. Nice fire rod dashes.
We're fake powdering?
Dude, what if the powder is just chilling on the pedestal to get the...
I know
grasping
it's
at
possible.
straws here.
I would say this is like the least likely thing to ever pay off.
Andy's been playing too many Mystery Seeds. It's possible, though. It would be ridiculous. Show me hookshot. Aww. Single arrow.
Basically go mode.
Alright, well. Oh, right, the other item was... Oh, the other item was cutscene chest. Okay.
Oh.
Right, so he's gonna do
I thought it was in the
here.
front.
There it is!
Right.
Wow!
It was with Finmire.
And just like that, what a turn of events.
That's so boring.
Taking the lead. Has his hookshot, just has to go and kill Argus, missing out on just a lamp in pod. So, despite all that, Pendant pod logically required because of the lamp, but pod Eastern not required at all, technically. You just had to go get Green Pendant off a Trinex.
That was a really huge play for Andy to leave.
That was, yeah.
After getting Samaria. like I definitely say that would be a less popular play among most runners because you're already in the Dark World and Turtle Rock is not that many more items than Pod, which you're standing right in front of. But today it paid off.
I gotta assume just maybe how unfun that Ice Palace was for him. Maybe needed to
feeling like he had to do something different.
Need to cut some corners. Now, it's not over yet, of course. We still have GT routing, which can still sway a race in the other direction if the GT Big Key decides to be awful. So it's not over yet. We still have a little bit more video game to watch. Exciting.
I think at its height, the difference in GT routing can be between like 5 and 7 minutes, but more typically like 1 minute.
And right now, I'm not keeping track of exactly what time Andy entered Swamp and what time Yoshi's entered. There's still time. There's still time. So if you're a PugTrio fan, you're hoping for just a Big Key and Hope Room. If you're a Triple Dino Disaster fan, you're hoping for a Big Key, like, I don't know, right side, I guess, compass. I don't know how these runners tend to route GT. If you see a lot of runners go Hope and full left. You'll see runners sometimes go Stalfos to compass to full left. And the rare...
Lately, I've been doing what I call Rando Rush, where you go Stalfos to Rando Room, and then Mirror to Hope Room down to Ice Armos.
I've seen that one because you avoid all the warps, or most of the warps. The second half of the warps.
It's like the popular what I call the hype route, where you go if you get a small key and Hope, you go compass and then back to the left side. It's just the opposite side of that, right? It's the same thing, just on the other side of the dungeon.
And you're just banking on it not being in Hope Room. That would feel pretty bad.
If it's in Hope Room, you're like Rando Room behind somebody who went to Stalfos first, and you're Rando and Stalfos behind somebody who went to Hope Room first. Which, is significant. Like, it's not great, but it's not really that different than if I went to Stalfos Room first and you went to Compass Room first, right? It's you can't account for everything.
Right.
I like it because it's different than what most people do.
It is certainly different, and it's actually because sometimes I'll go Stalfos first, and depending on how many keys I get there, I might keep going to Rando Room.
Yeah. Or
at least to Double Firebar Room, because if I find like 3 keys in there, I'm like, that means that there's a good chance there's something in Double Firebar Room.
That's something I don't want to from Asder quite a bit. Asder has this whole situation list of what he does in these particular key layouts. He mapped it all out to find the most likely scenarios.
Nerd.
I don't
Speaking
work
of
that
nerd,
hard at it. I just hope it's in Rando Room.
just go in and just hope and pray. Hey Koi, guess what? We're going to Ganon's Tower. Isn't that exciting?
We are. It is exciting. There are a lot of chests in Ganon's Tower. I think more than 5. And one of them even will have a big key.
Whoa! We need that. I think the runners should get that.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, they do. They should. You're right.
They probably need that. All right, well, we're not done yet. This race is in the hands of the Pug on the right now, and depending on how these two runners route, could swing this back into Yoshi's favor. Yoshi, a little bit further behind than I thought, just based on where Andy's at right now, about to head into the Dark World, while Yoshi still has a Phase 2 Argus to fight. But yeah, the real big decider here was just Andy grabbing Samari out of Saha's hut and bailing up to the mountain. And then, bailing out on the rest of just skipping more stuff in the mountain. That Hera basement certainly did not help Yoshi at all, unfortunately.
Andy skipped Hera basement, Spike Cave, and picking up the shovel, which he had failed to grab earlier, in favor of going back to Pod. And the green pendant on the way saved him from Pod entirely.
Can't believe Sahasrara was hogging all the goods. Unbelievable. All right, Andy, where are we going? We going Hope Room, full left? We going Stalfos to Compass, full left?
Yeah, they're about 2 minutes apart.
We going straight to Rando Room? We going Tile Room Gamble? What's the damage, bruh? Small key. Powder. Andy, I don't think the hookshot's going to be on Magic Bat. Just, I have a hunch. And it's not just because you already checked it. It's, but there are seeds that exist that you could have had to get the powder to get the hookshot if like Swamp was a pendant, which is awful and I hate it.
I can't believe you went to Magic Bat. That's crazy.
Listen, way back in the like fall 2018 tournament, I lost a race to Andy because he fake powdered and got a required big key, and powder was in rando room. It was all dungeon seed, but so you never know. You just never know.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. Well, even if nothing is over on right side at this point, Andy has a big enough lead that unless it's tile room and Yoshi gambles it, that I mean, unless Yoshi goes straight left.
He's trailing either way.
Yeah. Wow, what a turnaround.
Like, execution is the thing that could matter, but you don't expect it to at this level of play.
With Silver's Gold Sword, half magic. Near shield Koi.
I mean, anyone is capable of making some dumbs. And dumbs are always capable of losing you time, but you just don't expect it to happen.
A very lovely symmetrical room. Alright, as expected, Yoshi is going to go ahead and do the compass room.
Yeah, they're taking the same route.
Well, it's looking like your rando room play might have actually been the one. Way to go, Koi. You did it. But then you would have missed out on that lovely powder. And how would you get full health at the top of GT?
I would just die. I guess.
Just turn the console off.
No chance.
I can't not take damage. It's impossible. I lately have been playing a ton of Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 Rando, and every time I go back to playing Link to the Past, I'm like, this game is so comfy, dude. This game is so nice. I don't even have to think about anything. You can just play the game and not have to constantly worrying about dying.
I feel like we want to get back to like Ocarina of Time or something, and like every heart piece full heals you. And I feel I can do no wrong. There is no way to die in this game.
The only way you can die is
if the Stalfos is in force.
Yeah, I was about to say, turn on like quad damage, you get jump slashed by Stalfos, and you're out of there.
Those things are ridiculous.
Nothing in random. We did get our third bottle, but it looks like this could be a tile room seed. But the other thing to think about is, we're in GT an hour and 16 minutes. Like, this is still a pretty... I mean, we got to skip all of Eastern. We got to go mode Swamp. We did do a lot of the overworld, though. Man, I just wish I had the confidence to skip stuff like Spike Cave and whatnot. I think skipping... Oh, there it is. Okay, wow. Just barely dodging the tile room play. 21? I could see skipping tile room. Like, that's just one of those, like, if it's there, it's over, whatever. But I feel like I would have checked Spike Cave, like, before going into T-Rock in this seed.
Yeah, on the list of plays these runners have made today that I would never make under any circumstance, it's Magic Bat at the top.
Yup.
Then skipping Spike Cave.
Yep.
And then hoping that the third item is on Cold Stare.
Yep. But that's the fun part about this game, is that you can play however you want. And the way you play one seed is going to be completely different than the way you play the next seed, because the items are different. So it's not like it just so happened that the skips that these runners did, for Andy, it worked out. That's just how it works.
Like Andy's decision to not go into pod and to follow the cane instead had to be related to how he full cleared ice the slowest possible way. Like you full clear ice the slowest possible way, and then you find a Sphere 1 cane Oh God, right.
Right. Like, that feels real bad, because you're like, oh my gosh, if my opponent grabbed this, then that Ice Palace would have sucked so less. And, you know, if you had Samaria, you could have dipped T-Rock, like, the first time you were up there. So, you know, that had to have been weighing on his mind. Which is just, like, you know, well, I mean, we'll obviously ask him when he gets in here later, but, you know, that's always something that's got to be, when you're in these 1v1 situations, in the back of your mind, like, you know, what did my opponent do? What should I try and do to counter that? And then you metagame yourself into a loss because you were actually in the lead. And you're like, it happens so often. That's why I stopped looking at race time channels, or whenever I'm in like a big race. I just don't ever want to. I've definitely lost worse because of metagaming off of finish times. That's the nice thing about the ladder, is you can't do that. Actually, no, you still can. Because you could see when people finish. Well, you could see the number of people still racing. And you're like, oh no, I'm second to last. And then you find out that your opponent forfeit like 30 minutes in.
Does it not tell you if you're going to forfeit?
You can have it tell you that. No. You can have it tell you if your opponent finishes. I don't think it'll tell you if your opponent forfeit.
Oh, I see.
Maybe. I'm not sure. No, I don't think it can tell you.
Well, there we go. It's not quite enough, but it's a little bit for Yoshi.
Nice little hover from Andy. Gonna retain his lead. He's got a pretty, yeah, I mean, at this point, he never really let go of that lead. And the way that this big key landed, there was like really no advantage you can get. There was really no way that...
you would have had to go hope room full left or something. Which is, most people don't do that. Unless they don't find a key.
Hope room full right?
No.
That would have been the play, though, wouldn't it? Skip random room?
Okay, well, nobody does full right, but I was saying, like, you go to the hope room and then mirror and go all the way down the left side.
You just go hope room full right.
Full right's a meme. Nobody does full right.
The only time I've ever done it and won, and I never done it again because
I do it. Sometimes I'll do it to screw with chat, you know, because everybody guesses the game to start big key.
Oh, okay.
But they're like, oh, I'm gonna guess this number, and then I go the complete opposite direction and make the high numbers to low numbers, and vice versa.
Oh no, and then they lose out on all their koi points. Not the koi points. All right, dropping into Ganon fight. Gold sword, silvers, cape. Good to go. This is going to be a big win for PugTrio, and if Andy can successfully get through this fight, which very likely can, will give Triple Down Disaster their first loss of the season. And you know, I don't know how many times I could say this, Koi, because I've been commentating a lot for my division. This division's stacked. This division is nuts. Like, I anticipate like 4 teams are going to finish up 7-7. We're going to have some big dumb tiebreaker or something.
How is it formed? Is it just random?
What?
Like, how do they determine which teams are in that division?
I don't know. Secret sauce. It's a mystery. I don't know.
I was just thinking, you know, how can we be sure that it's not stacked, like with some kind of intelligence behind it, right?
I don't know. I'll have to ask.
Like, wouldn't
the
it
league
be fun
admins
if we put all these runners in the same division?
Well, I mean, Invitational is stacked already. It just so
Yeah.
happened I feel like our division got a lot of gamers. All right, there you have it. That's going to be a win for Andy of PugTrio. That means the number next to their team name is going to be 9 in the next race. Koi, isn't that cool?
Oh, you get like 3 points for a win.
Yeah. Get your GGs in chat. We'll see if Andy wants to join in here.
GG.
What a close race still. You know, Yoshi not too far behind entering the Ganon fight right now.
It's like 90 seconds out.
Yeah. And honestly, like, that alone is just like a tile room.
Spike Cave.
Spike Cave.
Hair
You skip out on
basement.
those two. Well, yeah, Hair Basement Tile Room. You skip out on those. We have you know, Fanfare Snipe maybe. But that's the thing, is like it's so tough when you're one item away from go mode and you're like, if I don't check these now, I'm just never checking them. But that's rando for you. Yoshi almost done with phase 3. Like, that's a lot of warps.
Okay, like
All
like
down
105 seconds, but
Ganon's making a liar out of you, Koi. Oh, that's like the perfect setup for the quad. Gold sword, top left, stop. There's a triple right there, and that's gonna do it for Yoshi. Triple down disaster. GG's.
GG.
Speaking of GG's, we got Andy in chat. Hey.
Hello.
Hello. Cool seat, huh? Did you like that one?
Yeah. I was really surprised that I only won by 2 minutes, to be honest, with how clown of a route I decided to do today. But you know,
What was the most clownish of your route?
putting off Eastern and pod pendants until the end of time.
Hard disagree.
That's what I do every time, and usually I lose. So I'm mad at you right now.
It just was like we could only beat Thieves Town going into the Dark World. Logically, I guess. And Dark World Access, Hammer, Bow, Mirror was like the perfect setup to just knock them both out back to back and be like, well, hope something's on Ped. And I was just like, nah, we're not gonna do that
especially
today.
with the lamp in the first chest of pod. Like, you get that and you're like, all right, I'm all set for Ped. And you know, if this was like a qualifier, I guarantee there'd be like at 50%
Half
of people
the Ped polls.
that their comments are like, cool Ped, dude. Thanks.
I didn't even see what was on Ped. I wasn't looking at the credits. I was figuring out how to align my webcam so I could show Dog after the credits were done.
That's very important. Thank you.
So Dog will be on the stream momentarily, unless SpeedGaming paused me or something.
Oh, I see Dog and Andy Arm.
There's Dog. Yep.
And is that a trash can right there?
Oh yeah, trash can. My Dyson
wrapper?
fan. No, that's a grocery bag.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a pretty crazy seed. I was pretty disappointed. Early Tempered Sword, and I was like, man, this is boring.
Fair enough.
I want to hear about Ice Palace. Like, you went to Ice Palace, and I mean, it's, you know, crystal clear, but God, it's so slow.
It is really slow.
Available to you, plus Hookshot Cave, because, you know, you do the thing. So, like, why would you go Ice Palace there?
It was mostly a logic play, I think, since it was logically available. I was expecting something like Lamp to be an Eastern pod area. I was a little disappointed when I found the Samaria there, to be honest.
Well, you were right. The Lamp was in Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, and so when I got that flute, I was like, okay, that's the Death Mountain access. So I didn't want to go up to Death Mountain, you know, potentially not be able to beat Hera with no fire sources, and no hook shot. And then, you know, like, Death Mountain could be garbage for all I know, and maybe Samaria is in Ice Palace. Or maybe Flute's behind that, or maybe Samaria's behind the Flute or something like that. So it was just, a full clearable crystal guaranteed that I could just do.
Well, going to the mountain, turns out it would not have helped, because that's exactly what Yoshi did. He sequence worked the mountain first, but then went to Ice Palace without the cane anyway. But he did save a lot of time on you in this, because after he got the second item in the big chest, he just killed Cold Stare, where you like full cleared the dungeon the slowest way possible and got nothing. It was very unfortunate.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. Getting 2 items in 3 of the chests, I don't know. Going straight to Cold Stare there is super, super risky. But,
Especially when you're still looking for what?
Yeah, we were looking for 4 items still.
Yeah.
All 3 as far as we knew at the time, because we didn't know we needed ether. But yeah, just super, like, I don't know. That's like on par with the I have 1 item and a dungeon item left in Eastern, so I'm gonna go straight to Armos and then just never go back to Big Key Chest.
Yep. I said the same thing.
But yeah, I mean, it is kind of bummer that I didn't have Samaria going up to Death Mountain, because I definitely go into Turtle Rock. I guess I couldn't actually, because I didn't have Quake yet. So just kidding. So
Yeah.
no, not having Samaria up there wasn't terrible, but
Fortunately,
I don't know.
Same situation for Yoshi. Yoshi didn't have Samaria going up there either, because both you guys put off East Palace area, pod area for a long time. Was your Ice Palace routing, did that play a part for why you just grabbed Samaria and bailed? Or were you just like, don't want to do pod Eastern ever, so it's dead to me?
Yeah,
that was the main difference. Was Yoshi did all of pod and then went to TR, where you just said, nope, let's go. Time.
I figured Turtle Rock was the green pendant. Pendant Turtle Rock always has the goods, and if there wasn't anything there, we just do Sahashal on our way to pod instead. So like we'd be doubling back to that area no matter what. And then Sahashal had ether, so I was like, all right, see you later, pod in Eastern. Hope the hook shot's not in there.
Yep.
And then mushroom and mire for the hook shot. It's a pretty gross seed, to be quite honest.
Yeah, there were a couple other things that kind of helped you retain that lead. Was Yoshi after T-Rock going back and doing Hera Basement, and then doing Spike Cave, which neither had anything, and then I'd say Yoshi's Mire routing was pretty sluggish in comparison, because Yoshi went in and beat Vidi and then had to go back in, and then went and did like big chest first and then did left side. So
yeah, the only problem with that is like big key chest is the most likely chest to have an item if it doesn't have the big key. And because Vitreous needs no small keys whatsoever, so like you're probably gonna get a small key on Vitreous like at least half the time.
Yeah.
So I hate that play. Like it sucks when you have big key on the bridge and then you're like, oh god, I could just go beat it right now. But
Yep.
and it feels really good when that pays off, but it like almost never pays off.
Does it pay off more or less than fake powder though?
I've actually, I don't know, in non-key sanity modes. Well, so that was the other thing. Like we had I had the front half of Swamp available still, all of Eastern and Pod. It's probably like 50-50 that powder is in one of those areas. With what I had left, I guess. So it was just like, this just prevents me from doing that, maybe. And it's, not super bad to set up. I've only had it pay off once, I think, in a non-key sanity mode. And that was the 5-12 person tournament Swiss last week against Airy. We had powder on pedestal and Ice Rod was at Magic Bat.
Wow.
Was it? Yeah, he mentioned that. So
I think that's
after that glory.
I just like, and I remember like both of us fake powdering at almost the same time. It was a really close race, but the only time I remember it actually ever paying off in non-keys. Yeah, I don't know. At that point, I had skipped so much stuff that it was just like evening out my clown route, I guess.
Gotcha. Well, hey, you got the win, which is good.
Yep.
For your team, guys. And you know, I've said it a million times. I'm gonna keep saying it as long as I keep on commentating for our division. I'm gonna keep saying that this division is kind of nuts. So, also helps to give Triple Down Disaster their first loss. So that's just bringing everybody down, and then you know WJV DTB can just kind of rise to the top. You know.
Yeah.
But no, it was a really good race.
Yeah, this would be the week that we want to go 2-0. I think after splitting the first 2 weeks, it would be a very good week for the division as a whole, not just us. If we sweep this week, no pressure, Solsky.
Solsky, you got this, dude. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this division evens out, or how each week goes, and I still can't even pinpoint who I think is going to be the top 4 getting out. So it'll be exciting to see how this wraps up. I'm not playing this week, so I'm just going to watch all the fun booties running around because it's casual boots. That was a weird thing to say. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Koi, you want to wrap this up for us?
Okay. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. That was a heck of a race between Andy and Yoshi. There is more league all the time. There's too many races. I'm not even going to read them off. Go look at the schedule. There are races all the time for, what, like the next 8 weeks or something. Don't miss anything. Until next time, I've been Koi. With me, Willard, watching Andy and Yoshi. See you next time, chat. Bye-bye.